here. We're here, fellas. Bet. Next, we gotta test the graphic. Make sure it works. Now let's see how this look in the frame. Next, we gotta test the graphic. Make sure. Oh, that actually does work. That looks good. I'm very thrilled with the results. Now it's time to turn on the podcasting lights. Hopefully. We get some traction and finish. I doubt it severely. But that's why I make clips. That's what the clips are for. We need a different vibe in this room. At least while we're doing the stream. Oh, that might be perfect. Maybe a little bit brighter, but. Oh, I'm fly. Oh, that might be perfect. Maybe a little bit brighter, but. Oh, I'm fly. Now that right there, boy. Ah! Look, nigga. Hey, that's perfect. Just let y'all know this going on a snap. You feel me? We're back. We're back. We're so back. We're so back. Hmm. Then I'll post it in 616 in KC. You know, chat, I gotta get my little snaps in, you feel me? Before we officially start the stream, I have to get my snaps Let's clap it. Oh, wait, that graphic I'm supposed to be on there right now. Let's clap it up. Yes, sir. We finally did it, man. We finally did it. We finally got here. And we sitting in the chair and we about to talk sports. I don't know how long I'm going to be on here for. The original script that I wrote up is not complete yet because I didn't know if I was gonna get any turnout, which I'm not, but that's fine. I have to get clips, so I'm more than happy to do this as long as possible, so I can get clips, and then I'll post them on the same channel, so you guys will see them here on my unscripted channel. You guys don't, and I've been posting videos on here for a while in the past, and they didn't really gain too much traction. Didn't nobody really know who I was too much, but that's cool. I decided to go ahead and drop the No Face YouTube channel and just go ahead and go full steam ahead in this podcast and stuff. I'm gonna start podcasting on here for sports specifically, and if I'm talking about it, I'm thinking I may do a separate thing for the Claw because I want to do something for the Claw, and I may do that on my main channel. But for this one specifically, unscripted, we will be talking about football, basketball, NCAA, maybe even some hockey. I don't know yet, but I will say this is just the opening statement. This is just me saying hello to you guys. I ain't even got into none of the nitty gritty. We ain't talking about no concepts right now. We ain't talking about nothing earth shattering right now. So if y'all, ladies and gentlemen, don't mess with me how I am as a person, then please step to the left or step to the right. Step out my face. Hey, because I really don't care. I came on here to give my opinions on sports, and if you guys don't want to hear them, that's fine. There's a close app button for a reason. Close the app. You don't have to hear me talk. But if you're on here and you're listening to me talk, then you might as well. So, let's get to the nitty gritty. All right. Wait, did it just stop my stream? It literally just disconnected on me. Please tell me that didn't stop my stream. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, it didn't stop my stream. Boy, I was about... Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy. Alright. Hold on. Let me, send me, yay, send me... Hold on. Let me tell people to slide through, you feel me? I gotta do it. I have to 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 do it. New segment. Live right now. Actually, you know what? Let me just screw that. I ain't even finna post that. I'm not even gonna say that I'm on. Cause look, the moment we blow up, cause it's not an if. When we blow up, I'ma have everybody and their mama watching this podcast. I'm not even worried. So I'm not even putting no plug out there. I don't need it. That's how confident I am. So I ain't even gonna put no plug out there in the world. We just gonna leave it how it is. But let's get back to the business, back to the show. My OBS is disconnected, so let's act like that didn't happen. And let's just get right on the road with this. So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, or good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Unscripted Podcast. I'm your host, Terrell Williams, and joining me today is nobody because unfortunately I don't have anybody to join me on this podcast today. So it'll just be me. Gonna keep it short and sweet. We're supposed to kick things off with our opening segment, which was the waiver wire. But since the NFL season doesn't start for another 2 weeks, I think we'll just push this segment off. And at the beginning of every podcast, be expecting a waiver wire. I'll be explaining who to draft, who to cut, who to bench, who to start, and who to drop, who to stash. All those types of questions for your fantasy league teams. Come to me. I'm your guy. I'm gonna make sure y'all win y'all fantasy leagues this year. So come to me first, and let's grow together. Let's win y'all some bread. All right. So normally I would say today's pod's opening statements will cover the fantasy leagues, whether your team is kick six or pick six. We have some great fantasy advice for everyone prior to the start of week 1. That's what the opening segment is. I'm supposed to have a graphic. I don't have the graphic. I'm doing it all on my own. So please bear with me, y'all. We gonna get it together, but I had to make all the graphics by myself, and I had to do all of it by myself. So let's chill on me for a little bit, and let's just settle in. I'm also off kilter. I can see that right now. Let me go ahead and fix that. I can see that I'm slightly off, uncentered. Yeah, uncenter the screen. Am I good now? I mean, so I'm being very specific, y'all. I don't want this to look good because I need these clips. So I need these clips. I don't think y'all understand just how important these clips are. All right. I think I'm too high now on the screen. Yeah, I am. Downloading. There we go. Right there. Okay. Now let's get back to the topic at hand, which was discussing the waiver wire. Okay. So basically, yeah, start, bench, stash, drop. That's what we're going to be discussing in the opening segments of the show. So be prepared for that. Every time I start a show, we will be beginning with the waiver wire. So it'll be one of the first segments we do. So yeah, just keep an eye out for that. I didn't make any like transition graphics. I have to make those. But the one graphic that I do have made, I have a couple made, but some basic ones. So for the first thing we're going to be talking about the competition, the QB competition between Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders, Tyler Huntley, apparently, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Deshaun Watson. Now, if you guys know anything about the Browns, which you probably don't, unless you've been watching them since they drafted Shedeur Sanders, the Browns have had a very complicated history in the QB room. Whether if it was Deshaun Watson, just not living up to the money that we paid him, whether if it was Baker Mayfield letting him go too early, DTR, he wasn't ready to start. He was never ready to start. Johnny Manziel, he wasn't that guy. We brought in RG3 for a year. That was a failure. The Browns just have this very, very, very bad track history with QBs. It doesn't matter who we bring in. For the most part, it just seems like it never works out. We brought Colt McCoy in back in the day. That didn't work out. It just always seems like there's going to be a vacancy at this QB spot for the Browns. As long as this management stays intact and as long as they don't change their ways, they're never going to change and they'll always be stuck in these losing ways. That's what I feel about the Browns. But that's not the main topic of conversation. The main topic of conversation is Dylan Gabriel. After his less than stellar performance in his first preseason action, he threw 13 for 18 for 143 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 2 turnovers. One of those turnovers was also a pick six, and he also had a fumble in the second. I think it was on a handoff to one of the running backs. But this past weekend, Dylan Gabriel got the start, and he displayed some elite playmaking. He definitely showed some flashes that he can make plays in spurts, but he's been able to do that ever since he was at Oregon. So we knew he could do that. He didn't do anything that we didn't expect already. He threw no touchdowns, an interception that was returned for a pick six. But when he was asked about his performance, this is when he said something which was taken way out of context by the media. He said, "There's entertainers and there's competitors, and my job is to compete." Everyone thought this was a direct shot at his teammate Shedeur Sanders, who was also auditioning for the role of QB1, which just went to Joe Flacco. But Gabriel cleared this up with an interview later saying that the media is who he was referring to when he talks about entertainers. Now, in my honest opinion, do I think Gabriel was trying to be malicious with these words? No. Honestly, I think Gabriel was coming off as... He said this before in the past, which I don't know if that's true or not, but I feel like he was just annoyed by all the media hype that was coming in with Shedeur Sanders, which I don't blame him, because Shedeur, there's a lot that comes with him. A lot of flash, a lot of vibrancy. He's not the most well-taught guy in the room. You sit him down on the whiteboard, give him a marker, he probably can't draw up half the playbook. Dylan Gabriel probably can. But Dylan Gabriel isn't the better football player. Dylan Gabriel is a good quarterback, yes. But I feel like he's much better as a backup QB. He fits the role of a backup QB. You don't need him to do that much. You just need him to show up, put in the work, do the hours, get out of here. Doesn't need to start unless the starter goes down. And in my opinion, I think Shedeur Sanders should have been QB2, QB1. I don't know why Kenny Pickett is still on this roster. I don't know why Kenny Pickett still has the QB2 spot, even if it is just a projection. Why are we projecting Kenny Pickett to be the second QB up if Joe Flacco were to unfortunately get hurt or just play subpar. I just don't believe that Joe Flacco or Kenny Pickett belong on this team at this point in time. I understand Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry want to save their jobs, but at this point, it just doesn't seem like they hit on this draft pick. Dylan Gabriel is a great backup QB to me, but it doesn't seem like he's gonna be your future starter or anything along those lines. And honestly, I think Kenny Pickett could be either. But then again, I'm not in that Browns front office. I'm not in the meetings. I don't know how all that stuff is going down. I've never been to a practice, so I have no clue what they're seeing. But from what we can see, it's obvious that Shedeur Sanders should at least be given some more chances to prove himself. I feel like he hasn't really been given every opportunity that Dylan Gabriel has been given. And Dylan Gabriel has shown you less with more. Shedeur has shown you more with less. I think it's an easy decision to make. But then again, I'm not the Browns front office. I don't make that call. NFL week is upon us very soon. So to prepare, here are some projections for whom will bust and who will boom in week 1. Pause for that. So, boom, we got Michael Penix Jr. versus Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's defense is good, but I'm sorry, Michael Penix and that Atlanta offense, they got some high-powered weapons. They got Kyle Pitts, who's still trying to find his rhythm in the league, and if he doesn't, he may find himself out. I might find himself off the Atlanta Falcons. So I definitely see the Falcons taking a huge step up on the offensive end this year. Drake London, they still have that guy. He's a game breaker. And I believe in Michael Penix, so I really think that they'll have a really great at least opening game. I don't know about the rest of their season, but I can at least say for the opening week, I feel very strongly that Michael Penix Jr. and the Falcons will be able to deliver a very great performance. Bust, we got Kyron Williams versus Houston. I just feel like the Texans defensive line is stout enough to where they're not gonna fold. So I feel like if Kyron Williams were to run the ball 30 plus times, he would probably get somewhere around 70 yards and maybe a touchdown. I wouldn't start him in fantasy if I were you coming up for that week 1 matchup against the Texans. Boom, Baker Mayfield versus Atlanta. It's the same thing, vice versa. Baker Mayfield has the same weapons coming back. You know, he has Chris Godwin. He got Mike Evans. We know what those two can do. We know what Baker can do. That boy can throw the football. That man can sling that ball, man. I'm telling you, if there is anybody in this league, anybody that can get up and down the field in a hurry, short field, don't matter. You need to play. He's got you. Baker, he's our guy. I'm telling you. Baker Mayfield is going to have a great day versus Atlanta. I think that both of those QBs are going to have really great performances against each other's teams, and it's going to come down to whose defense is going to say no first. That's how I feel about that game. Bust, Tate McMillan versus Jacksonville. Tate McMillan is still a rookie. He just got drafted this year. And I honestly just don't see him being able to do anything against Jacksonville's defense. I'm not saying Jacksonville's defense is crazy good or anything, but you gotta think about it. He may not start, and even if he does start, I just don't see him having a breakout game against Jacksonville. They have some decent corners. Their defense is overall pretty good, and they just added Travis Hunter. And if he's playing both ways, he may be matched up against Tate McMillan. And I don't know if he can beat Travis Hunter in a 1-on-1. So that I had to put him at the bust for this week. I just had to throw it up, shake it up a little bit. Can't do the same thing every time. We can't put out names that everybody knows, or else I'm just repeating what everyone else will say. Justin Fields versus Pittsburgh. I put that as a boom. I'm telling you guys right now. I'm telling you all right now. If you guys don't think Justin Fields is going to go off against the Steelers, you're stupid. I'm telling you right now. There is no way. Justin Fields has been demonstrated. I mean, that is not the word I wanted to say. It is not the word I wanted to say. Justin Fields has been put under a huge spotlight. In my opinion, he's been put under a huge spotlight. This is one of his last opportunities to be a starting QB in this league. He's bounced from Chicago to Pittsburgh and landed in New York. Opposite of Russell Wilson, who just so happens to be on the Giants. But I think that for him to really lock in and perform at his best, the keys to his performance is using his legs. Right? That's what Justin Fields is good at. He's good at running. He's a mobile quarterback. I think Justin Fields needs to utilize his legs more in this matchup against Pittsburgh, because if if those DNs get home, I don't know if Justin Fields is gonna make it out of that game. You got to worry about T.J. Watt. You got to worry about that whole defensive line, the linebackers. You got to. I think Justin Fields will have a good day, but he has to be able to get rid of the ball quickly and efficiently, and he has to be able to use his legs. If he can't use his legs, then I don't think he'll have a good day against that Pittsburgh D-line. I'm telling you right now. Bust, I have the Giants' whole QB room versus Washington. Because it doesn't matter who starts that game. I just don't think that the Giants are going to beat Washington. Especially with that QB room as it is. Washington's defense is on the come up. The Giants' offense has been inept for several years, almost a decade. I just don't see it happening. I don't. I'm holding out hope. But I just don't believe in them. I don't believe in Russell Wilson. I'm not buying that Jameis Winston is going to take you anywhere. We saw firsthand it didn't take the Browns anywhere. I don't believe in the Giants QB room, so I put them as a bust for this upcoming Week 1 matchup versus Washington. All right, time for the fourth segment of the show where we talk about my favorite team in the league and the only team that matters in this whole show. Browns block. The perfect way to continue this podcast. And we're not sponsored by the Browns, but we would love to be. Now, Cleveland, what are we doing? Someone please tell me what are we doing? Because why do we have 4 QBs on the roster? No, why do we have 6 QBs on the roster? I understand why you brought in Tyler Huntley because you couldn't throw Deshaun Watson out there because of his Achilles. He's been out. Didn't want to start Joe Flacco for a preseason game. He's a starter. We get it. Kenny Pickett has the hamstring. We get it. Dylan Gabriel, we understand it. Shedeur Sanders, he was hurt. We also got that. But what I don't understand is how do you have 4 QBs on your roster and all of them are hurt? And you have 2 QBs. One that got off the plane the other day and the other one that's 40 years old, but he's the only one that's healthy. How does that make sense? Cleveland, how does that make sense? I don't know if it's the training staff, if it's the strength coach, but they got to do something because there's no reason why your quarterbacks are getting hamstring injuries. It doesn't make sense. Shedeur with the oblique makes sense because it's a throwing motion. As a QB, you have to turn your body to throw the ball. So we understand why Shedeur got the oblique injury. Like we can see that. I don't understand the hamstrings though. So whatever they did and whatever they were doing, I need them to cut it out because I don't want my team to suffer because we don't have any QBs. We already have none. You know, the saying, when you have 2 QBs, you have none. Well, when you have 6, how many fucking QBs do you have? I have to censor that now. I can't post. I can post the raw VOD, but I have to censor that part specifically. I'm making more work for myself. But this is Browns block. Browns block is different from my other segments. Browns block, it's just passionate. You know, it's just straight passion because I'm a Browns fan and I've been a Browns fan since 2018. Actually, that's not true. Since 2015. So a decade, actually. I've been a Browns fan for a decade. Oh my gosh. Why did I do this to myself? Why did I do this to myself? It has been 10 years of straight misery. But maybe we'll finally turn it around if they start Shedeur Sanders. Now we'll be entering the 5th segment of the show, and we'll be talking about Caleb Williams. He was recently under fire for some comments he made about his time before he went to Chicago when he was talking with his dad about potential draft positions. He wanted to go to the Vikings. Minnesota didn't end up having the first overall pick because it went to Chicago. And Caleb Williams was touted as a generational prospect. I never really saw the hype. But it seems that the organization is aware of his comments and they've decided to move on from the comments and just focus on the upcoming season. Williams saw some preseason action, though. He threw for about 107 yards on 10 attempts, completed about 60% of his passes. But it should also be noted that he threw for a 36-yard touchdown on his first drive of the game. Honestly? All right, Caleb. I see you, Caleb. Because see, I was never a Caleb Williams fan. I never thought that Caleb Williams was going to be some generational prospect. right? I thought Jaden Daniels was going to be better than him in the first place, but I didn't think that Jaden Daniels would be as good as he was in his first year. I'd be lying if I said that. But I think that Caleb Williams has come a long way from his first couple years in college, and then just his transition to the league. And honestly, he got killed last year. Like I saw some of those clips, he was getting killed out there behind that offensive line. So hopefully they can show that up for him, and he'll have a great year this year because Caleb Williams has all the talent in the world to succeed. They just need to give him a chance. If he doesn't have the time to throw the ball, I don't know how they expect him to win games for him. So if they want to win games, they're going to have to make sure that they get that man some help because he can't do it by himself. But they got to make sure that Caleb can stay upright all season. But I think they can do it. I think they can do it. I'm pretty sure they can do it. All right, time for upcoming topics. This is just open-ended time. I'm not going to lie to you guys. There are a couple things I'm really interested in covering on this channel specifically. I want to cover NCAA football, NCAA wrestling. I want to cover basketball as well for March Madness. Covering NBA, NFL. I haven't considered MLB yet. Just branching out. Really just there's a couple key sports like basketball, football, wrestling. If you want to watch or listen to what my idea or thoughts on any of those sports, you're going to come to this podcast. You're going to come to the Unscripted Pod because I'm telling you right now, I'm going to give it to y'all straight. No bullshit. So if y'all want to hear ex-athlete's thoughts about it, somebody that recently just got done competing, let me know. And I haven't forgot about the claw. Where do I begin? Kaden Henschel. Andrew Robles, or is it? I'm sorry if I missaid your name. Angelo Ferrari. G Muddy Enforcers. How y'all doing? This is me, Terrell Carter Williams. I'm auditioning to cover one of your guys' events at some point this year. I don't care if it's a slight All Access Media Pass, if it's nothing, if it's just a couple shots here and there, some interviews with the wrestlers before they compete. But I want the opportunity to bring my podcast up there, or even just the opportunity to show them that I can be an essential part of their broadcast team. You know, maybe not even the broadcast team, but I just like doing stuff with social media. So, you know, hey, if you guys want somebody to give y'all some dope coverage, just let me know. Just let me know. I'm trying to build my brand, and I can really bring some attention to the claw. But other than that, I hope y'all ladies and gentlemen have a great night. Hope y'all rest easy tonight and wake up and have a blessed day tomorrow. I'm off here. I didn't have much to say today. The pod was short. But when we get back on, I'm gonna promise y'all, we're going to have more topics, more to talk about. Hopefully the graphics will be done. The next podcast, I'm hoping I can get the next episode started, hopefully by Saturday. I want to have another pod going by Saturday. And if I can't do it by Saturday, then we will do it on Sunday and Monday and Tuesday. And we will do it those 3 days out of the week consistently. The other days, we'll make do. But I appreciate y'all for stopping in, chatting with your boy. I'm going to get up out of here, and I'm going to give y'all the facts because that's what we do here.